No question about it. And well, we've come home, Choice. We have been far and wide to Icebox, then Haven. Now we have returned to our hometown of Ascent here on the Valorant Sundays Showdown. And honestly, I'm not even mad. Not even a problem for me. As we are getting straight into it. This is what I'm interested in loving to see. I've been a little bit disconnected. I haven't gotten to see the Astra play all that much. And I'm
Mhm.
loving that Ascent has kind of become that home for the Astra picks. It's going to be fun to watch as we see Welshi going to be locking that Astra in there for the Slimy Boogerman side of things.
I'm loving this pick as well. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of very interesting plays that you can do with Astra on Ascent, like basically take the entire garage area just by
Mm.
pulling all of her stars back because you get that like 1 second smoke just from pulling the star back. So I would see like them set up basically 4 stars up through garage and then just like pull them all back and all 5 of them will just bum rush the entirety of garage. So very interesting stuff that you can do with Astra, and just like you, I'm excited to see it. And I mean, we've got a Sage as well on the other side. The Sage and Killjoy. That seems like it's. I mean, we've seen that comp twice now. One on Icebox and now here on Ascent. Very interesting stuff. I'm loving the diversity of the agent picks.
Yeah, I'm liking that this meta has really evolved in an interesting direction. And beyond that, another interesting thing here is that we see two raises on Ascent. That's usually not going to happen, but Instinct and Sakura both going for the raise is certainly not unwelcome, but also not the norm. And in addition
Yeah.
to that, like you said, the Sage, again, not unwelcome, but certainly not normal for this map in particular. So I'm excited to see what this can bring, particularly because I mean, realistically, having that killjoy on either side, that makes a lot of sense. Though the lack of any other controller or smokes rather than Astra is, I don't know if it's worrisome, but it's certainly um interesting because that means that Slimy Boogerman they're putting a lot of faith in this Astra.
Right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I gotta say, there's not a single jet on the field right now. No
True.
jets at all.
Right
Crazy
there.
stuff.
Right there.
But I'm open and excited about it.
Right there.
I mean, we only have a
Placing
single
Swarm grenade
duelist
out.
on the side of Pretty Pink Ponies, as Sakura is on that raise. Sorry, just all these names: Pretty Pink Ponies, Slimy Boogerman.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to throw me off for a little while. So just give me some time to really catch up with what's going on here, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, just stick with us whilst we figure it out, but we will be there. There we go. Some engagements going through. Intox the opener. And Instinct comes in for more. Sakura does find one, but ultimately a 2-for-1 trade as Instinct gets tagged very low, but ultimately the rest of these players on the attack are inking their way towards the A site. And there's actually really nobody at the site itself, but the spike gets dropped. That's absolutely devastating. Unfortunate for the two players left on the Slimy Boogerman side of things, or rather, pretty good ponies. My apologies. Got things flip-flopped, but either way, Slimy Boogerman coming out victorious there in round number 1.
I mean, there it is. Pretty Pink Ponies, Slimy Boogerman. I mean, one of the players on Pretty Pink Ponies, Hustle and Motivate, said that they were going to read me a bedtime story and make me some hot chocolate. So, number one, I'm going to hold them to that. And number two, you're throwing me off, man. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do with my hands. So, this is going to be a very interesting game to cast.
Hey, I mean, they just, want to get up close and personal. I understand that. It's been a long year. It's okay.
Very true.
Just wanting some love. It's fine. Oh, well, Maybe looking for love in all the wrong places, but in a video game, I mean, not with you, Choice. I don't mean that at all. Love Choice.
You know what? I would have been fine if you meant me, to be honest.
Oh, no. Of course not. Of course not. This is the video game, though. We are talking about Valorant. Let's get it right back in here. It is just an eco round, to be fair, for the attackers here at Pretty Big Ponies, but we'll be looking for a little bit more. I love this aggression choice. Look at how far up Slimy Boogerman are playing, and well, Hydra takes the first frag of the round and then gets back as the push does go on to A, but they're going to have to contend with these players coming up from the attacker side of things.
Very interesting decision there to send in the curveball, but Instinct does get a paint shells frag onto Hustle and Motivate. And now this is going to be a very interesting retake of the Heaven side. I mean, actually, they're going to jump right down. Dev is going to take down 2 members of the Pretty Pink Ponies, and there it is. That's all of the members down for the Pretty Pink Ponies. And Slimy Boogerman push themselves forward 2-0. And Instinct and Dev are pulling some weight here. 3-0 for both of them. Looking pretty nice. Banana Boy 69 is going to be the top frag for Pretty Pink Ponies.
Hey, don't disrespect this, man. It's XX Banana Boy 69XX. Thank you very much,
I
Choice.
apologize.
Yeah.
XX Banana Boy 69XX.
There we go. Put some respect on the man's name. Jesus. But yeah. As you can see, we're having a good time here on the stream. And with that, we are going to see the first gun round of this game. And, well, it is a bonus round in fairness for Slimy Boogerman, but the full rifles available for Pretty Pink Ponies is they have prepped themselves and are ready across pretty much the entirety of the map. Just getting some map control, not really wanting to give too much away here in the early stages.
Ooh, this is really exciting. You got the gravity well there, as well as the paint shells, but unfortunately, the paint shells were gonna hit that corner, maybe just a pixel off from getting that paint shells kill from the gravity well. Beautiful plays there, and that's just kind of the fun stuff that you can do with Astra. You got the gravity well, sucking the players in, not allowing them to really get out of the way of some utility just like that. And now they're kind of on this like weird positioning where it's a 4v5 situation in the favor of Slimy Boogerman. And now they're going to have to really, they're going to have to do something big here. Probably get a pick and decide exactly where they're going to go. Sage is going to be watching that mid pizza area, even getting a little aggressive and checking market as well. Might get caught out by Hydra. This could be a huge moment for them. Whoever wins out in that duel, it's going to be, well, oh my goodness. Welshi and Hydra working together to be able to get some kills for themselves. And this is going to be a full retake with 5 players on the side of Slimy Boogerman and just 2 players with the Pretty Pink Ponies.
Oh, but that's the denial of the plant. Oh, Hustle and Motivate, a couple nice little frags, but unfortunately, the cavalry had arrived, and I'm not talking about the Ponies. I'm talking about the Slimy Boogermen. They come back in straight through and clean everything up.
Oh man, I'm just reeling from what you just said. That was so perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and that's that's why you're the best at this. Anyways, the thing that I've been kind of watching is where the Astra Stars have been placed kind of at the beginning of these rounds. It's mostly been the A main area. Ooh, a very interesting positioning there for that star. It's not going to be hitting too much this time, but once again, it's kind of like the Viper Molly. If you get hit by it, you're going to be vulnerable. And so that time could have been pretty interesting, but well, she is going to back off with 7 HP left over after a couple of good shots with the Sheriff. And now, once again, taking that mid control is the Pretty Pink Ponies. Actually going to move out of the positioning there, and it's going to be taken down. Very interesting positioning from Pretty Pink Ponies, not going to lie.
Yeah, they've been really a fan of this mid-control style. Even on those eco rounds, they tended to get forward positions here, especially as there really hasn't been a whole lot of players contending with it on the defense. So, you know, why not take it if you can? In fairness, one player gets across. That can be brutal. Intox, he's got the opening frag and comes back for more, but it's Banana Boy who's got 2 frags with that Sheriff. Quickly gets dispatched by Dev though, and Hydra chimes in for the final frag of the round. But man, that got awful close. Banana Boy, you know, kind of forward position where realistically, I don't believe anyone was expecting.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, I definitely wouldn't expect that, but Slimy Boogerman are definitely taking this seriously. You could tell, even though they're playing up against, you know, the Pretty Pink Ponies, they are taking this very seriously, and you can tell they are looking really crispy on a lot of their plays. They're actually using their utility together very well. Beautiful lane flash from the side of the Pretty Pink Ponies to be able to give themselves some garage control, but Sakura is actually spotted out by the Owl Drone, and this attacker Killjoy ultimate could be everything to be able to push out the defenders out from that area and maybe get a kill onto Hydra. He's going to have to push him out, maybe use the hot hands to heal himself up, and that's going to be the B-side in the favor of the Pretty Pink Ponies. This is a beautiful play by them. That lane flash as well as the Killjoy lockdown really gave themselves that free round. And here comes the Hunter's Fury. They're putting a bunch of faith into a lot of their ultimates and utility. And Ganja is going to be able to take down Dev. And this is going to be a 4-player retake up against 3 players trying to hold this site.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of this lockdown, though. The problem is that you can sit in this back of the site and Ganja! Oh my goodness! The double kill! With the shock dart, absolutely brilliant. Was sitting back in the boat shed and just lined them up to kill both the players CT. That is just brutal stuff there. And the first round for Pretty Pink Ponies coming off the back of what was honestly a very chaotic round with a huge amount of investment. Yeah. I mean, we saw the lockdown, the Hunter's Fury, the From the Shadows as well. So many ultimates invested there, not to mention the utility. But I mean, you get the round, that's fully fair enough. Speaking of a potential Hunter's Fury, there is going the Hunter's Fury on the defensive side, though it doesn't really find much of anything. They went fishing, and they came up empty choice
this time, but now they kind of know that maybe possibly this is going to be a full B hit, but Hustle and Motivate pushing up, kind of trying to avoid the star, perfect positioning, but Welshi, oh, has the nice angle, able to see that gun barrel, but oh my goodness, that Sage Wall is so deadly if used correctly, and that's exactly what just happened. Spit Clean My Shoes was able to get a beautiful frag with that disgusting Sage Wall peek up, but Welshi has just been in the right place at the right time multiple times here. A beautiful headshot. What is this, Vincent? A 3K for Welshi, absolutely annihilating the attackers so far. There's 2 players left, and up against a showstopper that takes down Ganja, and there it is. That's a beautiful round for the Slimy Boogerman.
I mean, listen, the lack of utility used in order to deny Welshi space is a little bit frustrating and a huge mistake on the part of Pretty Pink Ponies. They needed to be able to push Welshi from that area and deny that positioning, but just kind of overlooked it. They thought, okay, well, we have the site off the back of that great opening, like you said, by Spit Clean My Shoes, but you know, it wasn't enough. You have to take those precautions every single time, and a bit of a mistake there, allowing for particularly Welshi to get big value off the back of that. That being said, we are going to be on a bit of an eco. There is not full weapons. Going to have a bit of a SMG plus a large number of sheriffs. And well, there's a reason why we talk about sheriffs, and it's because they can be awful effective. Banana Boy pulling out a nice shot with the sheriff and giving a player advantage to the Pretty Pink Ponies.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a very interesting round here because we do have the showstopper on the side of Pretty Pink Ponies, and I don't know if they're going to really try to commit this. They do have a player advantage right now. It is 5v4 in their favor, so it could be useful to use that right away. Banana Boy, again, getting a gorgeous headshot onto Intox. That's a 2K for them, and some free guns in their hands as well. Instinct is going to have to do something big here, maybe get a multi-kill from this position, but the utility is coming out huge from the Pretty Pink Pony. Sends in the Roomba, as well as a curveball, and Hydra getting a beautiful headshot, but Sakura is going to be able to do something as well. Instinct getting a headshot of their own. Dev holding their own, but Banana Boy getting another frag with this Sheriff. Going absolutely ham with a 4K and a Sheriff, a thrifty round for the Pretty Pink Ponies. That's something I did not see coming.
I mean, how do you see it coming? 4Ks with the Sheriff, they do not come every day, and they are certainly brilliant when we see it. Banana Boy putting on a display there and showing us exactly why the likes of the Pretty Pink Ponies have made it here despite their Mimi names. They certainly have some skill to back that up and doing a great job of that, you know, and kind of shutting down you know, some momentum that the Slimy Boogerman realistically had. You know, they've won before that 4 out of the last 5 rounds, and it was a difficult spot to be in. Now you have another opportunity, and well, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Spit between my shoes with another frag from the same angle. That being said, Intox with a nice little trade off the back of that, knows the angle now and can get straight back in there. The Cosmic Divide going to be committed this time around, and honestly, a bit of an interesting position for that Cosmic Divide. Nonetheless, Hunter's Fury coming out as well to try and stall out this defensive push.
It's going to be very interesting because Instinct is going to be caught out by Banana Boy. That's huge. That actually is probably one of the reasons why they placed that wall there. But, I mean, really tough stuff so far. Banana Boy absolutely popping off right now. But Hydra doing some stuff themselves. It's going to send in the hot hands to try to push Sakura off that little angle. But, well, she is going to pull in the gravity well. Is not going to see anything this time. Sending in an off shot. Hydra has to get in there as soon as possible because the time is ticking right now. But it seems like this is going to be a save for them so far. The operator shot is going to miss. And Sakura is going to be able to get that operator possibly. No, they're going to leave it.
What? That's surprising. I wonder why, considering, well, she had the operator, right? So, like, clearly, well, she wanted to use that operator. Interesting decision. Nonetheless, clearly they made the decision together because, I mean, why wouldn't they? That being said, I guess having maybe here's a theory for you, Choice. Maybe having a, you know, 1-2 rifles is much better, especially if you're not using, you know, a jet op, right? That is really powerful with that weapon. You know, having the rifles is maybe just a little bit better as a thought process in a round like this. I don't know, just a maybe. Hydra though, utilizing that run it back, nearly picking up a frag, but unable to connect with the headshot on the follow-up though. Tries for more. I'm not sure where that pink shell went. Did it actually go out?
Yeah, it went out. He barely got that through.
Okay. I thought maybe it had gone wide, but no. Fortunately, I mean, able to get there, but still, a lot of pressure being put on the Pretty Pink Ponies in the early stages of this round. They might be convinced this is a full buy.
Possibly. They are going to get that ultimate orb.
You should run.
Look at this. It's going to be able to use the lockdown. That is going to be Pretty Pink Ponies putting that lockdown down. It is going to be taken out pretty quickly, though. Beautiful utility usage by the Slimy Boogerman to keep that off of the field so far. Going to send in a recon dart and not going to pick up anything this time. It's going to be taken down a little bit too quickly. It seems like there's still a pretty decent amount of utility usage. Hydra is going to be taken down, but Sakura is going to take down Instinct with that showstopper. Banana Boy pushing in hot and heavy, going to get that headshot out onto Dev, but Gaz is going to be revived. This is going to be a 4v1 situation. It's all up to Astra, and my goodness. Pretty Pink Ponies, it seemed like it was kind of a rough start, but I mean, it's still up against a semi-buy from Slimy Boogerman. They really did a fantastic job taking over the site and using the utility to the best of their advantage.
Yeah, I've loved those Killjoy lockdown plays. They've been very effective, and on top of that, Banana Boy has been fragging hard, so that just means we've seen more and more of them. That's what the third one, I think. Maybe just the second, not 100%, but either way, nice job finding that. And Hustle and Motivate going to just motivate Welshie to respawn on the next round, and does that quickly as it's. I mean, listen. It's starting to get close. Pretty Pink Ponies are galloping toward a tied up scoreline, looking at the 5-4 at the moment. That being said, on the other side of things, we do see the full buy coming back in, and Dev, who else but Dev, picking up an Odin.
You love to see it. The Sova Odin here on Ascent, pretty classic stuff. Not gonna lie, but I mean, I feel like exactly the Sova. Perfect here on Ascent. Not going to hit anything this time. Actually, the Gravity Well is a perfect position there to be able to maybe grab a couple of players in that situation, but it's a nice slow push. I really like the fragmented pushes by Pretty Pink Ponies because it has been working out for them here on the attacker side. Like, they kind of fragment themselves, get into weird positionings, move up mid, maybe kind of scout some areas, but it does seem like Slimy Boogerman are on top of it. They have 2 members watching that area, lots of util as well. But this time, it is going to be a possible A push. This is going to be intense, Vincent. This is like a Old Western Showdown.
Hydra, so close. They finally swing, but they're gonna go away. They don't want any part of that. Actually, that paranoia was on point. Both of those players were blinded up. Unfortunate that they couldn't take advantage of that. Pretty Pink Ponies maybe falling away at the wrong time, as they do have lots of control here at B, and there's only one player in defense. That nade shell should deny some area of effect, and Hydra falls, but Dev up close and personal has the right weaponry, but unfortunately unable to connect. What a great frag from Sakura, and now this is looking fairly devastating. 3 versus 4, and not a whole lot of anything left.
Oh no. Very interesting situation all up in here. Oh. Our observer kind of went a little crazy there for just a second, but we are going to be jumping back in here. Welshie pushing out onto the site here. Is going to have that Nebula there to block some vision from Banana Boy. Actually gets the kill onto them as well. Gets another kill onto Sakura. This is huge stuff from Welshie. Welshie has come up so clutch in a lot of situations. Instinct, only 22 HP left over. It's all up to Ganja, and Welshie gets the 4K onto Ganja and possibly the defuse.
Oh! 0.5 seconds choice. 0.5. So close. You just can't make that up. Wow. So very close to that defuse, and even beyond that, you were talking about the split plays coming through from the Pretty Pink Pony side. You're right in that that's kind of where they started, and that's also where they started in that prior round. But actually, their success has come from these hard B pushes. They really didn't make any kind of spread play initially, and they just kind of slow and methodically pushed through A main, or rather B main, my apology, on these pushes, typically speaking. But it didn't work out that time, maybe because of what they were doing before. Nonetheless, a great opener there by the Slimy Boogerman to find that opening frag with the showstopper, but Hustle and Motivate is in such a very forward position. Does fall back now at this point. Honestly, could have hung out there for a little bit longer, if you ask me.
Yeah, perfect positioning for them now, especially now that lockdown is placed. But the Hunter's Fury, the Hunter's Fury is going out all over the place. Look at this, the lockdown is going to be destroyed by the return Hunter's Fury. Sakura is going to eat a little bit of that damage as well. But this positioning is so strong from the Pretty Pink Ponies, but no, it's being destroyed by both sides. Oh my goodness, Hustle and Motivate getting the clutch themselves. What was that?
I mean, listen, if you ever want to know how to trade effectively as the attackers, just go watch that round. What a great setup that was from Pretty Pink Ponies. Every single position was tradable. Every single position was in a spot where you realistically could find a player and then you come back and look for the reswing. absolutely brilliant stuff. And whilst again, that wasn't necessarily the norm that they found the most success with, the Pretty Pink Ponies, they've adjusted. They are now looking to go back to Old Faithful, looking back to this quick B hit. And look, ain't nobody home choice. That site is wide open.
Yes, it is. And look at this. Hannibal getting a beautiful headshot onto Intox. I mean, like, they've been doing such a fantastic job. Like, just being in the right places at the right time. And these Paranoids have been clutch as well from Hustle and Motivate. Another headshot from Banana Boy is going to be taken down by Instinct. But this is beautiful stuff coming out from the Astra. Well, she is kind of fragmenting a lot of this positioning, a lot of the site as well, to maybe give themselves some great angles and maybe push in a little bit more safe than they would have before. Hustle and Motivate getting aggressive, gets spot out by the Recon Dart from Death. Pushing in, getting some crazy frags, just taken out by Ganja. It is a 1v1 situation. Ganja has the upper hand in terms of HP, but there it is, the finish off, and that's another round. That's a 6-6 half for these teams. This has been a crazy, I mean, extremely unexpected game so far between the Slimy Boogerman and the Pretty Pink Ponies.
It certainly has been. I mean, we've been blessed today, Choice. A lot of incredible games. We haven't had a bad game today whilst we've been on the broadcast. So, I mean, it's continuing here now. And, I mean, just to put it into perspective, right? It was a 4-0 start there at the very beginning for Slimy Boogerman. And then from there, we saw out of those last 8 rounds, 6 of them going the way of Pretty Pink Ponies. Really dominant in the second half of the first half. That makes sense. And with that, we are headed into the second half now. Pistol round looking to be a hit by the setup from Slimy Boogerman as they get poor positioning. There is a lot of utility here. That Killjoy has pretty much set up everything to go out in this direction, as well as some of those stars. And there goes one of said stars. Gonna cut off any sort of area, as that's gonna need to be the retake to deny that area of the map once again for the defense.
Beautiful utility usage from both sides here so far. The Astro Stars coming in pretty clutch here so far. Look at this, Banana Boy is going to be pulled in by that gravity well, but here comes a big lane flash coming out from Hustle and Motivate. Welshi, though, is going to be able to take down Banana Boy. That's going to be a huge moment for them. Welshi is still pushing in, but it's going to be taken down by Spit Clean. Instinct, oh my goodness, but the Sage Wall coming in clutch to deny the push out, but Instinct, it doesn't even matter. Pushes out, gets some headshots, and a beautiful 3K.
Man, Welshi, I had so many, it was like so many positives and negatives in that round for me for Welshi. Welshi, number one, had a brilliant position, brilliant utility usage with that Astra. The stars placed very, very well, but then you get the perfect kill. The one player pushing the catwalk dies, and then Welshi just swings wide for no reason and dies for free. Like, it didn't end up mattering on the whole of the round, but that's the sort of sloppiness I think that Slimy Boogerman in the rounds they've lost, that's what's caused part of it. You know, that sort of sloppiness, just getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves. And in that case, it was Welshi who was doing just that. That being said, purchases in and Hustle and Motivate up close and personal and gets taken out. This one Pony dispatched and make it a second, as it is simply frags moving all the directions. That being said, Banana Boy, what a great kill. I mean, again, Banana Boy has been so consistently good with these pistols, and this time a classic in hand still finds a frag.
Ooh, that's a lot of utility to deny Sakura. That could have been a lot of HP as well. The Owl Drone does spot them out. Banana Boy does have 5 HP. That's going to be tough. Ganja Wizard gets taken out almost instantaneously, and this is going to be the spike down, and just Banana Boy with 5 HP. And not even a dream right now. Just kind of accepting the fate at the moment. Gonna try and get maybe a knife kill in that moment, but Hydra said, no, not playing that game right now.
hey guys, you guys wanna
fight
play? Like, yes. How's it going? Yeah, no, not gonna be giving that one for sure. And with that, I mean, 8-6. This is a solid score line, exactly where you want to be if you're Slimy Boogerman. That being said, we saw what the start turned into at the end for this team. And Pretty Pink Ponies going to be wanting to do the same here on their defense.
I gotta say, Slimy Boogerman have just looked so clean on their pistol rounds. We've seen it so far. They've got that part down so far. I mean, they've got the control. They've got the right composition to really keep themselves alive and kicking. Really sending in the Owl Drone here in this tree area, and Dev is gonna try to push down this Sage Wall. And that's a beautiful Sage Wall, I gotta say. Perfectly placed to really deny a lot of time and a lot of room. In that situation, Ganja Wizard trying to find maybe a straggler here on the mid side, but didn't clean my shoes. Waiting in this ratty area. That ratty angle, not going to get anything this time. They are going to redirect their push this time, but and they're not being quiet about it, Vincent, at all.
No, I mean, this is the very direct push there for the Slimy Boogerman, but you're going to have to stand tall here. Banana Boy the first gets one, but then the follow-up is good by Hydra off the back of that curveball. So four players alive for the attack against the 4 of the defense. It's going to have to be a wild ride to open this back up, and the Ponies, they do just that. A double kill from Sakura as he says, saddle up, we're going for a ride. Sakura looking for even more as the reload comes through. Nice through the wall. No, not quite. Ganja Wizard actually to pick that up, but nonetheless, a great retake there from the Pretty Pink Ponies.
Wow. They're definitely here to play. They're here to stay, for sure. Pretty Pink Ponies going absolutely ham right now. But I mean, I got to give it to Slimy Boogerman. They had a fantastic push as well. It's just, like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Pretty Pink Ponies were just on top of their aiming. They were winning those gunfights, winning the aiming duels, and that was just in their favor, just from kind of that, like, instinctual aiming in those situations. I don't know, like I don't know. I want to compare it to like an anime when they get into that moment where every time slows down and they're just hitting all their shots when they shouldn't be.
True. I mean, there's some truth to that. I can get with it. I can get with it. Make some sense to me. But
it's the Pretty Pink Ponies, so I wouldn't
true.
doubt it.
I mean, you know, the OG anime. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just angering a whole bunch of people. That being said, we do have a lockdown on the side of the attackers, and that has gone out, trying to clear off this A site. And, well, there's nobody really here other than my shoes, who has found one, but that is going to be it. Actually, one player gets detained. I'm not sure why that happened, but I think it was Hustle and Motivate, but no longer. So, nonetheless, a doable retake with 3 players left alive on the defense.
Wow. Beautiful utility usage from Ganja Wizard to be able to do a good amount of damage there. And, oh, that was perfect. Yeah, I think he was baiting out the showstopper. He sent a couple of shots out, and that actually did put the attention from Instinct onto that area. So that was beautiful play by the Pretty Pink Ponies. Got himself into a nice position. Instinct only has 7 HP left over. This utility usage is fantastic from both sides, but they have to hold on to it. Slimy Boogerman have to hold on for just a little bit longer. It's spiking down, and there it is. The attackers are going to be able to finish off the Pretty Pink Ponies this time, but they played that pretty excellently.
They certainly did. I really love the late round setup there. I thought that maybe the lockdown play a little sloppy, in fairness, a little bit sloppy, but once you got into those positions, it was very, very strong for the Slimy Boogerman. They did exactly what was necessary, and they have once again just shut down that that push. And on top of that, you know, you saw Pretty Pink Ponies come out victorious fairly strongly in the prior round. Immediately answered back by the Slimy Boogerman. I like that idea, the attempt by you know, to find some players through here and use the sheriff to shoot through the wall. It's a good idea, but unfortunately nobody was home choice, so it's going to be back to the drawing board for the rest of these ponies.
I know, I was like, ooh, I like this 4-player stack. They're literally on top of each other, and I was hoping that someone would push that, but not get what we wanted. But now they're playing this pretty efficiently. They're in the right positioning. They're keeping themselves back, and they're actually being a menace to any sort of push from the Slimy Boogerman so far. Banana Boy, oh no, is going to get caught out here by the curveball and the recon dart. Almost gets the frag out onto Dev, but no, not this time. Dev is going to be the victor in that aiming duel. Gotcha, getting a little bit of damage out there. Does have the Hunter's Fury, could possibly use that. This is a nice kind of laney area, a nice laney sort of site, so you could possibly get a frag with that, but might save it as well. It's going to be pushed off by this Molly from Instinct, but Big Clean My Shoes gets caught out, reloading, a really unfortunate situation, and they're doing the best they can in this situation. Does not get the frag there. Hustle and Motivate is, oh my goodness, is getting some frags. It's just Ganja Wizard, but that, oh no, the turret in 20-something HP, it's just, there's just no use.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Gotta be frustrating, I should say. I think that was for Ganja Wizard, right? Who was in the clutch, and well, a valiant effort, especially with the pistols. Like, you know what? 3 kills, an attempt right at the 1v2. Like, sure enough, you don't come out victorious, but that ain't too shabby. But once again, 4 out of the 5 rounds here in the second half going the way of the Slimy Boogerman, and now it's going to be all onto the Pretty Pink Ponies to attempt to stop what has been, I mean, just an absolute runaway from the what was, you know, the tied up 6-6 scoreline of the first half.
You should run.
Very interesting stuff. And now the lockdown is coming out again from the Slimy Boogerman, but it looks like they're actually backing out of it. Big Clean My Shoes is probably about to get caught out from it. And this is a really unfortunate situation for them, but they do have backup in the Omen, sending in some shots. Not going to allow them, but Welshie is going to be taken down by Banana Boy here on the A side. Banana Boy takes a ton of damage from that shock dart. Perfectly placed in that situation. 16 HP left over for Banana Boy. They're going to have to rotate soon, but it seems like Slimy Boogerman are giving them the slip right now. It's all up to Spit Clean My Shoes. Hanging out in this lane area. Does take out Instinct. Hydra is going to take down Banana Boy. My goodness, a beautiful headshot from Sakura. And look at this. It is a 4v2 situation in the favor of Pretty Pink Ponies, but the shots coming out from the Slimy Boogerman. What? I don't even know what to think here, Vincent.
I mean, it's a bit of a mistake not taking advantage of that lockdown play, or that lockdown player, but nonetheless, Hydra another frag, despite the fact that there was the resurrection. So ultimately, that frag not meaningless, but certainly not going to give any sort of advantages over to the Slimy Boogerman. There goes the second Hunter's Fury of the round, this time from the Slimy Boogerman themselves. And oh, what a shot! Spit Clean My Shoes, that's just incredible! And oh my goodness, what a way to end the round. I mean, listen, if there is any sort of question about what kind of a pony he is, it's a thoroughbred. Absolutely.
a thoroughbred Pretty Pink Pony.
That's right. Don't look that up. I don't know if that's the thing.
yeah, that's probably a bad look up there.
Hey, we're not going there. Don't do that. Man, we are seeing a bit of a tactical timeout, though. It looks like this is coming from the Slimy Boogerman side of things, and honestly, I don't really know what tactics you could realistically do against that. Like, I mean, poor guy. Like, honestly, Dev was doing the right thing, had a great position, and it was just found out by Spit Clean My Shoes. So, you know what? It happens. It's okay. But still, a round that is potentially a swing round in this game, as is 10-8 now, and it's going to be another. Should be guns from both sides in the coming.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the timer is counting down now And this is going to be a full A rush from the side of the Slimy Boogerman. They're going to try and do something big here. You see some Astra Stars, but there is going to be a lot of Killjoy utility here on this side. But Sakura is going to be pushing out nice and fast. Going to send out the Showstopper. Isn't going to get anything this time, but Intox might actually get caught out by some of that paint shell. 34 HP left over on the Killjoy here. Sakura sending in the Roomba as well. This is going to be huge for them. Hydra hiding in that line area. Could be perfect for them, but it's going to be cleared out by the Roomba. They know someone's over there now. Hydra is going to send in the run it back as well. It's going to accidentally blind himself with that. It's going to be extinguished almost immediately by a lot of Killjoy utility, but that's perfect. That's exactly what they wanted to bait out. A lot of that utility. That's exactly what could possibly give them the A site. But they're going pretty slow with this one. Intox is really, really hurt. 6 HP, Vincent. There's not much you could do in that situation.
Yeah, I don't like how slow this is. Honestly, Slimy Boogerman, they're just cantering up to this point. They need to be moving up into a bit of a gallop at this point, and there we go. Finally able to pick up the pace, and off the back of that, utilizing the Cosmic Divide as well, as there comes the lockdown. That's from the defense, though, and could potentially spell destruction for the rest of these players. It's 5v5, soon to be 5v4, and there we go. Stick clean my shoes with the opener, and 2 players detained. That's absolutely devastating. Sakura with a nice little frag, but Welshi with another double kill, in fact, on the defense. And Dev was underneath Heaven the whole time, playing it very, very passively, but now it's on to one player. That's going to be Intox, who's got very low HP, 6 to be precise, and that comes the spike getting up diffused, and Banana Boy with the frag. So it's once again the Pretty Pink Ponies coming out victorious, and they're really starting to close that deficit down.
I really got to give it to Intox. They were playing that pretty perfectly. They had this swarm grenade. They sent that out, tried to bait out or hold off as long as possible, trying to waste some time in that situation. Kind of shoulder peeking and pre-firing that corner, but ultimately 6 HP versus 2 members of Pretty Pink Ponies. There's not much you can do in that situation. They played it perfectly, but still wasn't really enough in that situation. It looks like they are setting up for another A push here, Vincent. And once again, Banana. I don't even know. Are there with a lot of Killjoy utility.
Well, fast push is what we have on display, and Banana Boy, he goes down quickly. Hydra, nice little frag, and in fact, throwing up the hot hands in order to deny any additional push, though the Nano Swarm, my apologies, was there just in case as well. Nicely done, getting some damage done on through those boxes as Gonzo Wizard. Not quite enough to get a frag, though. This is still a clear advantage with the pistols. Now everything comes in. Sakura takes one but falls immediately. This is looking very, very good here for the Slimy Boogerman. And Welshi and Intox both come up victorious. Thrifty coming through, and it rings true as it's 11-9. As soon as you think that the Ponies have gotten to a position where they can rest easy, and it's just immediately fought back by the Slimy Boogerman.
Man, you cannot count out a team like the Slimy Boogerman. They are seasoned veterans here in the competitive Valorant space. I mean, even though like there's been roster changes and such, these are still fantastic players. And it seems like they do have the strats in mind, in their hands. Stick clean my shoes, once again, kind of hanging out in this area, giving Hydra possibly another tick towards their run it back. Not going to have it this time, but they know that they can get a little aggressive, maybe get some kills out onto the Pretty Pink Ponies. But the Showstopper does come out nice and aggressive. Are probably going to send it into that boathouse area, but yes, it doesn't do enough though. The paint shells themselves came out, but Hydra is going to finish off. Must hustle and motivate. This is a very interesting situation. A good save round indeed. A Shiko, if you will, for the Pretty Pink Ponies, but it's all up to Banana Boy, excuse me. Sending in a little bit of that Killjoy utility. Not going to get some frags that they want in this situation, except for that one. That was a nice shot onto Instinct, but Welshi is going to finish off the Banana Boy themselves. And a beautiful match point for Slimy Boogerman.
I mean, Instinct thought it was a nice shot too. Says as much in the chat, and I mean, well deserved. That was a very good shot coming through. Unfortunately, it wasn't much else. The Pretty Pink Ponies caught grazing at the worst of times as they have gone down to the match point of Slimy Boogerman. 3 of those potentially before they send us to overtime, though. Certainly could be the case. Remember that last round was a half buy, only had the sheriff. So now with full weapons, is it going to be different? There we go, fast movement coming through, and there's a running back. Hydra opening frag. Easy does it to get the location locked down. Now it's on to Banana Boy, who is ready and waiting on the site. Intox just waiting for the rest of the team, potentially looking for a trade. And I don't think that bounced where they were looking for it. That being said, the bounce irrelevant because Instinct and Dev both have frags for V2 now, and Pretty Pink Ponies, they've got 2 players left alive, and they need everything.
Yes, they do. They need to execute this flawlessly. If Sakura can actually get a solid placement of the pink zone, no, well, she is going to take down Sakura, but Spit Clean My Shoes doing this really cheeky spot again is going to be taken down by Hydra, and that's it for the Pretty Pink Ponies. It's all Slimy Boogerman this time. My goodness, what an insane game that we just witnessed, Vincent. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Slimy Boogerman, very, very solid team. We talked about it before, have a whole lot of experience, and unfortunately, the Pink Equestrians just not coming out victorious in this example. But I think well done just to be in this position. Honestly, really did well to get this far. No, granted, I have no idea who these players are, if they're new or if they've just changed their names. It kind of feels like there might be some memeing going around. I have no idea. Not gonna make that determination, but nonetheless, it was Slimy Boogerman, particularly once they got onto their attacker side, that just seemed to have that little edge over the Pretty Pink Ponies.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, their composition was fantastic, and Welshie. I mean, this is the person that you want to be your MVP. Welshie on the Astra is going to go 261 combat score, going off with this controller character. I mean, I don't know. They're crazy, and they were in the right place at the right time, utilized all of those stars to their max capacity, and you love to see stuff like that. Shout out to Banana Boy 69XX for topping as well the leaderboard with that 297 combat score, but it is all Welshie that drove the Slimy Boogerman all the way to the finish line.
Yeah, it certainly did. And I mean, Welsh, you think back, cast your mind back to that first half. 2 huge clutch rounds as well that I don't think, I mean, those rounds go a different direction. I mean, that really kept Slimy Boogerman in that half. I think it actually would have been a pretty devastating half for them. It wouldn't have been tied at the very least. It would have been, down maybe even 8-4. And that's a very different score line. I mean, think about 13-9. That's where we ended. That's the difference, right? So anyway, it absolutely is well deserved, that MVP. And I'm going to be honest, I want to see what Slimy Boogerman can continue to do throughout the rest of this evening. We still have semifinals and then, of course, grand finals here to go, Choice. So lots of stuff ready and waiting for you guys. I mean, we've had some awesome upsets today as well. I don't know if you guys have been looking at the bracket, but it's been a whole lot of fun, and definitely check that one out. But
yeah, crazy stuff. Love it. I mean, wow. Shout out to Pretty Pink Ponies for the names and the goofs and the fun. Shout out also to Ganja Wizard for making me some hot chocolate and reading me a bedtime story. I hope that happens here really soon. But that's going to be it for Vincent and I. We are going to be heading off after this one. And after this, you're going to see another caster, a couple of casters that you love and enjoy. So you don't want to miss out on that one. After this quick little break, it's going to be semifinals. So don't go anywhere.